first note of this chord. We have 3 notes. Now we have to divide this by playing 2 in the bottom and 2 in the top, like this. With the left hand. Once more. Now the second chord is very similar, so the bow stays the same way. Left hand just switches to the first finger. Now the last chord, 4 notes chord, we divide by bottom 2 and the top 2, like this, on open strings. Now with the left hand. One thing to note is that we want to change the strings quite fast rather than rolling slowly, so like this. This will give the strong and energetic sound to the music. So here we go. So the next passage we're going to look at is bar 6 with the trills. Again. For the trill, you have to train your pinky to be quite strong, like this. You'll get better and better the more you do, and it takes days and weeks. Now let's add the grace notes right after the trill. So I would first play without the trill but with the grace note, like this. Now once you feel comfortable, let's add the trills and the grace notes. Now let's look at bar 26. Now once slower. Bar 27 is the tricky spot because of the slurs. So let's look at it slowly. So first you can practice by putting a slight accent on these notes. For those notes, let's use a fast bow, like this. Bit faster. Now think less of the accent, but still make the fast bow, just by making it lighter rather than pressing down. Next spot is bar 29. So the challenge here is the string crossing. So first, let's start practicing by playing the open strings. Open G and open A. Here we need to have every part of your right hand involved, especially your wrist and your fingers. So having it flexible is the key thing. So Here's the G string. You can see that I'm shrinking with my fingers, and this will give extra speed to the string crossing. You can train your wrist and your fingers by doing this. First, lock your arm with your left hand. Or let's try other strings. Or as you can see, it's quite difficult, but once you have that flexibility, this part will become much easier. So let's talk about bar 50 and onwards. You need to practice the position change from bar 50 going into bar 51. We start with the first position and we move into the third position. So you need to practice the change between the first and the third position. And do this many times and see how many times you can get this. I was quite lucky. You can tune your third position by comparing to your A string A. Now once you've got this in tune, we can practice going to the next bar, and there's another position change involved, which is from your third position to your fourth position. So you're playing the same note E with different fingers. And try to play them with the same pitch. Now once you've got to the fourth position, then you can play all the notes there in the next bar. So here's from bar 50 one more time. Next, let's have a look at this bit. To play the turns well, you can practice without the turns first. So these notes will stay the same, and we're going to add this. Now this is bar 58. So this bit is quite tricky to play with good intonation, so you can practice like this. So we are just focusing on the fourth fingers to play in tune. Next thing, you need to tune your first finger from the fourth finger that you have played. Some of them are with stretch and some of them are without. So there was one stretch involved from your E to the C. Now let's look at the next passage from bar 89. Here there are notes where you have to play with the second finger on both strings, and you can do this by making your second finger flat. That will cover two strings, like this. One more time. Here you need to know exactly where to use flat second finger and where to use a single second finger. So the last passage for today is from bar 101. Now here's what's going in my head when I'm playing the long notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The trick is you have to count 4 in your mind for the long notes. Bar 101 going into the next bar, you need to take a retake with your bow. One more time. This will help you play the C nice and short and fast. So this bar with the trio, we can play with 2 bows, and each bow is going to play 2 beats each. And let's practice this without the trio first. One more time. Once you get comfortable, you can add the trios. Thank you.